Have you ever wondered if you could have a stroke without realizing it, even while feeling perfectly fine? Do you think strokes only happen to people with obvious warning signs or family history? What if the habits you practice every day without thinking about them are quietly damaging your brain's blood vessels? Stroke is the fifth leading cause of death worldwide, and 8 out of 10 cases could be prevented by changing everyday habits that seem harmless. But here's what might shock you. Your current seated position could be causing your blood to thicken, and skipping that morning glass of water could be slowing down your blood flow. The scariest part isn't the statistics. It's how these habits operate in silence, damaging blood vessels and brain circulation without symptoms until it's too late. Understanding these habits means recognizing that small daily choices compound into major health consequences. Stay tuned until the end, because in today's video, we will reveal 10 common habits from your daily routine that could contribute to a stroke without you even realizing it. The last one on the list is the most fatal. Have you ever had a stroke? What measures did you take? Leave your comment below. Habit 1. Sitting too much. After 4 consecutive hours of sitting, blood circulation begins to change dramatically. Blood becomes more viscous and harder to pump, forcing the heart to work harder to deliver oxygen to the brain. This isn't about occasional long meetings or flights. It's about spending more than 8 hours daily sitting without active movement breaks. Prolonged sitting reduces blood flow velocity, allowing blood components to settle and thicken. Brain arteries, being the most delicate in the body, suffer first when circulation becomes sluggish. Blood pressure rises gradually during extended sitting periods, and this elevation often goes unnoticed because it happens slowly. Office workers face particular risk because modern work culture normalizes extended sitting. The solution requires intentional disruption of sitting patterns. Standing for 2 to 3 minutes every hour significantly reduces circulation problems. This isn't about fitness, it's about basic blood flow maintenance. Habit 2. Poor sleep quality and sleep apnea. Sleep apnea represents one of the most dangerous, yet undiagnosed stroke risk factors. During apnea episodes, breathing stops repeatedly throughout the night, depriving the brain of oxygen for consecutive hours. The heart responds by increasing both frequency and intensity of beats, causing blood pressure to spike dramatically. Untreated sleep apnea can triple stroke risk. The signs include intense snoring, gasping sounds during sleep, waking tired despite adequate sleep time, morning headaches, and involuntary daytime sleepiness. Partners often notice breathing interruptions before the person experiencing them realizes the problem. Sleep quality matters beyond apnea. Sleeping less than 6 hours consistently disrupts cardiovascular regulation. The brain requires sustained rest periods to maintain proper blood pressure and arterial function. Poor sleep quality from any cause, stress, environment, or disorders creates cumulative damage to brain blood vessels. Habit 3. Consuming hidden salt and processed foods. Salt functions as a magnet for water in the bloodstream. Excess sodium forces blood vessels to retain more fluid, creating pressure similar to overfilling a balloon. Brain arteries, being the most delicate, suffer most from this fluid overload. The real problem lies in hidden sodium. A single serving of canned soup can contain over 50% of daily recommended sodium intake. Processed foods disguise salt content behind terms like sodium citrate, monosodium glutamate, and sodium phosphate. Even products labeled light or healthy often contain excessive sodium. Reading ingredient lists becomes essential. Products with more than 5 ingredients, especially those with unpronounceable chemical names, typically contain hidden sodium along with other problematic additives. The cumulative effect of these substances creates chronic inflammation in blood vessels, weakening arterial walls over time. Habit 4. Chronic dehydration. Dehydration thickens blood consistency, making circulation more difficult. After 8 hours without fluid intake during sleep, blood becomes concentrated as the body continues sweating and breathing. The heart must work significantly harder to pump thickened blood through delicate brain vessels. Morning urine color provides immediate dehydration feedback. Dark yellow indicates urgent fluid needs. The solution involves drinking 1 to 2 glasses of water immediately upon waking to restore proper blood viscosity. This simple action reduces morning stroke risk when blood is naturally thicker. Chronic mild dehydration often goes unrecognized because people adapt to feeling slightly sluggish. However, this adaptation masks ongoing stress on the cardiovascular system. Proper hydration maintains optimal blood flow and reduces clotting risk. 5. Tobacco and nicotine products. Tobacco creates a dual threat to brain circulation. First, it deposits substances in arteries that narrow blood vessels progressively. Second, it alters blood chemistry, making clotting more likely. This includes traditional cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, and all nicotine products. The damage occurs with every exposure. Nicotine causes immediate vasoconstriction. Blood vessels narrow temporarily with each use. Over time, this repeated constriction, combined with chemical deposits, creates permanent arterial damage. There is no safe level of tobacco consumption regarding stroke risk. The positive news involves recovery speed. Within 3 to 6 months of stopping tobacco use, stroke risk decreases dramatically. Arteries begin repairing themselves almost immediately, demonstrating the body's remarkable recovery capacity when harmful exposures end. 6. Excessive alcohol consumption. Alcohol affects stroke risk through 2 primary mechanisms: blood pressure elevation and heart rhythm disruption. Even moderate drinking can cause irregular heartbeats that increase clotting risk. The supposed cardiovascular benefits of alcohol do not apply to stroke prevention. Excessive means more than 2 drinks daily for men and more than 1 for women, using standard drink measurements. Binge drinking creates acute risk by causing dramatic blood pressure spikes and heart rhythm abnormalities. The day after heavy drinking often includes elevated blood pressure and irregular heartbeats. Alcohol increases risk for both stroke types: ischemic strokes from blood clots and hemorrhagic strokes from brain bleeding. People with other risk factors should consider eliminating alcohol entirely, as multiple risk factors compound rather than simply add together. 7. Ignoring high cholesterol. High cholesterol operates silently, depositing fatty substances in arterial walls over years. LDL cholesterol, the harmful type, should remain below 100 milligrams per deciliter for most people and below 70 milligrams per deciliter for those with additional risk factors. These numbers should drop even lower for people with existing cardiovascular problems. Cholesterol problems often persist despite seemingly healthy diets because genetics, chronic stress, and hidden processed food ingredients all contribute. Stress hormones promote arterial inflammation, making cholesterol deposits more likely. Processed foods contain hidden trans fats and inflammatory substances that worsen cholesterol problems. Regular monitoring every 2 years minimum becomes essential because cholesterol levels change gradually without symptoms. Prescribed medications like statins require consistent use even when feeling well, because cholesterol damage continues silently when levels remain elevated. 8. Poor diabetes control. Elevated blood sugar acts like microscopic crystals scratching arterial walls from the inside. This damage accumulates for years before diabetes diagnosis, meaning pre-diabetic blood sugar levels already threaten brain circulation. Glycated hemoglobin, HbA1c, levels above 6.5% on multiple tests, or fasting glucose above 126 milligrams per deciliter repeatedly indicate dangerous territory. However, damage begins at lower levels, making blood sugar control important, even for people without diabetes diagnosis. New GLP-1 medications show promise for stroke prevention beyond diabetes control. However, diabetes management requires lifelong attention, combining medication, diet modification, physical activity, and elimination of other risk factors. The pancreas needs support when it becomes less efficient at blood sugar regulation. 9. Self-medication without supervision. Common over-the-counter drugs can change blood pressure and the risk of stroke a lot. Most individuals don't know that certain vitamins, nasal decongestants, and anti-inflammatory medicines have a bigger effect on the heart than they think. This is especially risky for persons who already have risk factors. People who are sensitive to ibuprofen may have high blood pressure for a few days after taking it. Nasal decongestants have vasoconstrictors in them that make blood pressure go up. Some natural vitamins and herbal preparations can nevertheless interact with other medicines or have effects on the heart and blood vessels. When consumers take more than one medicine without a doctor's supervision, the situation gets worse. Older people are more likely to have hazardous interactions between prescriptions, over-the-counter pharmaceuticals, and supplements. Adding more substances makes it more likely that there will be unforeseen effects on the heart and blood vessels. When paired with other stroke risk factors, self-medication is like playing Russian roulette. People who have well-controlled blood pressure sometimes have unexpected, severe rises after taking common drugs for illnesses that don't seem to be related, including back discomfort or cold symptoms. 10. Not monitoring blood pressure. Approximately 45% of adults have hypertension without knowing it. Blood pressure above 130/80ths of a millimeter of mercury now indicates increased risk, representing stricter guidelines than previous recommendations. This change reflects understanding that arterial damage begins earlier than previously recognized. Proper blood pressure measurement requires specific conditions: 5 minutes of quiet sitting, arm positioned at heart level, and 3 separate readings with 1-minute intervals between measurements. Pharmacy machines and quick office checks often provide inaccurate readings. High blood pressure damages brain arteries continuously without symptoms. Prescribed medications must be taken consistently, especially when feeling well, because hypertension causes silent damage. The absence of symptoms makes this condition particularly dangerous. The encouraging reality about stroke prevention lies in the body's remarkable recovery capacity. Arteries can begin repairing themselves within months of eliminating harmful habits. Even after decades of damage, consistent positive changes produce measurable improvements in stroke risk. The key involves recognizing that small, daily decisions accumulate into major health outcomes. Stroke prevention doesn't require dramatic lifestyle overhauls. It requires consistent attention to habits that seem minor but create major consequences over time. Now we want to hear from you. Do you have any of these habits? Do you have any other advice or experiences to share? Leave your comment below and help others be better prepared. Information saves lives. If you found this video helpful, please type yes in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell because we've got plenty more great tips coming your way. I also encourage you to check out these 2 videos we selected especially for you. Thanks for watching.